Oh, good evening, everyone. There's no time like election year in October for some frighteningly poor reasoning. So let's get to work. Earlier this month, in light of President Trump contracting coronavirus, the Presidential Debate Commission elected to move the second presidential debate to a virtual format as a safety precaution. After the president refused the virtual format, Biden arranged a town hall for himself to be hosted on the network ABC. Shortly after, Trump also arranged a town hall, this with NBC, which to much criticism, the network scheduled for the exact same time slot. And as if this wasn't controversy enough, shortly after the debate, Twitter, the entire platform, shut down temporarily. And this coincided with a dubious news story about a laptop that might have been owned by Biden's youngest son, Hunter. And this led Trump to confusedly repost a joking news story from The Onion's conservative equivalent, whose Twitter bio reads, "Fake news you can trust," which claimed that Twitter had shut down completely to cover up the Biden laptop story. And while this is ridiculous, we should be sympathetic to Trump's confusion, because this is based on a susceptibility to a very common fallacy, perhaps the single most common fallacy on the LSAT, that being the causal fallacy. Premise 1 is this negative Biden story. Premise 2 is that Twitter went down. And the conclusion then is that the negative Biden news story was the cause of Twitter's shutdown. A and B coincided, and thus A must have caused B. Of course, these two events corresponded in time, but the Babylon Bee was being funny, kind of, in joking about causation, and the president was being fallacious completely in believing the joke. Recently, in the second and final presidential debate, President Trump was asked,
"Mr. President, you've described the Black Lives Matter movement as a symbol of hate."
To which he responded,
"The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, 'Pigs in a blanket, fry 'em like bacon.' I said, that's a horrible thing."
Now, Trump's premise here is the claim that he had a negative introduction to a broad, nationwide entity composed of millions of individuals. And his conclusion is that this introductory snapshot is representative of the group as a whole. And this is a classic composition fallacy, one you're sure to see on the LSAT. You can't take a part and then assume that that part is representative of the whole. It's a little like watching this low-light clip of this part of Kobe Bryant's career, where in Game 5 of the 1997 Western Conference semifinals, down 3-1 to the Utah Jazz with 1 minute and 46 seconds left on the clock, Shaquille O'Neal, the star center of the Los Angeles Lakers, fouled out. This left the game up to an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant, who in the last couple minutes, and then in overtime, shot not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 brutal air balls. Now, if you took this part as representative of the whole of his career, then you might miss Kobe's ensuing 5 NBA championships, 15 All-Star games, 4 All-Star game MVPs, 2 NBA Finals MVPs, and singular regular season MVP award as a result of a couple robberies. Because both of these cases illustrate the fallibility of inferring about the whole based on just a glimpse of a part, both are fallacious. And finally, this spooky season, in a terrifying display of poor critical thinking, we saw the president curse Republican Senator Ben Sasse after Sasse said the following.
"The way he kisses dictators' butts, the way he treats women and spends like a drunken sailor, he mocks evangelicals behind closed doors. His family has treated the presidency like a business opportunity. He's flirted with white supremacists."
Now, Trump could have responded to Sasse's arguments. He could have tried to justify his America First foreign policy, or explain his response to the coronavirus crisis. But instead he tweeted, and he said the following: "The least effective of our 53 Republican senators, and a person who truly does not have what it takes to be great, is little Ben Sasse of Nebraska. He doesn't attack the argument, instead he attacks the arguer." And this is a fallacy you've seen dating all the way back to before the LSAT introduced comparative reading comprehension passages. It's the most obvious fallacy, and it's the most fun to say. It's an ad hominem fallacy. Thank you all so much for watching. If you didn't catch episode 7 of Logic Fails, where we discussed the first debate and the president contracting coronavirus, then make sure to tune into our YouTube channel. Have a great weekend and a safe Halloween. See you soon.